Welcome to SEO Deep Dive by Map Rank Hack, the podcast for service pros who want to get found, get clicks, and get paid. Each episode breaks down real Google Maps SEO strategies that actually work. No fluff, just results. Let's dive in.
The question I get all the time from local service pros. Plumbers, security guys, electricians.
Let me guess. Can I just do my own SEO?
Exactly. Can I just handle my local SEO myself? And I mean, you look online, right? YouTube, blogs, and there's so much free stuff.
Oh, totally. It looks really tempting. Like you can just, figure it out and save some cash.
Yeah, that's the appeal. Control, saving money. Sounds good when you're running a business.
Definitely.
But what we really want to kind of dig into today is the other side of that coin, the hidden stuff.
Right. The things you don't see up front.
The hidden costs, the limits. When you only rely on DIY for local SEO, I mean, sure, you can tinker, it's possible, but we're going to explore why that route often ends up costing more, not just money, but lost opportunities, especially if you're, busy actually doing the work.
Yeah, these are hands-on professionals. Their time is gold. And that leads straight into the first big issue, doesn't it?
The time sink.
The massive time sink. Effective local SEO isn't a set it and forget it thing. It needs consistent effort.
Okay, let's unpack that. So you're an HVAC tech, right? You're out on calls all day. Where does the time come from?
Exactly. Not just to do the SEO tasks, but first you have to learn it and then keep up with it. Google changes things constantly.
So what starts as maybe saving a few bucks?
Quickly eats up your most valuable asset,
Yeah.
your time. Time you could be billing customers or, having a life.
Right. And is this where people hit a wall?
Pretty much. It's what we could call the DIY ceiling.
The DIY ceiling. Okay, I like that. What does that feel like for a business owner?
It's frustrating. You've done the basics probably.
Yeah.
Claimed your Google profile, maybe tossed up some photos, written a blog post or two.
Yeah, check the boxes you found online.
Right. You feel like you're putting in work, but
Yeah.
nothing's really changing. You're not climbing in the Maps results.
Yeah.
You're just stuck.
Okay, why? Why does that happen? What's missing from those sort of basic DIY efforts?
It's usually the deeper, more strategic stuff and the technical bits. For instance, a proper citation audit.
Making sure your name, address, phone number are consistent everywhere.
Exactly. NEP consistency. Sounds simple, but inconsistencies can seriously hurt your ranking. Google needs to trust your info. Or really nailing down your Google business profile categories, primary, secondary. Getting those wrong means you won't show up for the right searches.
Mm-hmm.
And a big one, data, tracking what's actually working. Without tracking performance, you're just guessing, throwing stuff at the wall.
It's like trying to fix complex wiring with just one screwdriver. You might tighten a loose connection, but you're not going to solve the real problem.
Perfect analogy. And SEO isn't static, right? It changes. Voice search, optimization, mobile user behavior, algorithm updates.
Stuff that's hard to keep up with if it's not your full-time job.
Impossible, almost. So even if you got some early wins with DIY, you can fall behind fast.
Okay, so someone listening is nodding along. They've hit this ceiling. They're frustrated. What's next? Where do they even start looking for help? It seems like a whole new world to navigate.
You can feel that way, yeah. The market for local SEO help is, it's busy. You've got some big established players.
Like who comes to mind?
Names like BrightLocal, Moz Local, Yext pop up a lot. They offer pretty powerful platforms, lots of tools.
Okay.
Then you have sort of more enterprise-level options too, maybe Whitespark or SEMrush for really deep analytics and competitive stuff.
Right. Robust tools. But are they the right fit for, say, that independent plumber we mentioned, or a small family landscaping company?
Often, maybe not the best fit. A lot of those platforms are really built for marketing agencies, managing tons of clients, or larger businesses with multiple locations.
And probably bigger budgets to match.
Generally, yes. The features can be overwhelming, and the cost might be a bit much if you're a smaller service business just trying to get more local calls.
So if those platforms are maybe overkill or not quite the right model, what's a better option for those small to mid-sized service businesses? They need real strategy, right? But without the huge corporate overhead.
Exactly. And that's where you find more specialized services, like, for example, Maps SEO Experts. Their whole focus is often specifically on service-based businesses.
Okay. So tailored.
Yeah, tailored. They aim for tangible results pretty quickly without the complexity or the price tag of some bigger platforms. They get the specific challenges the goals of a local service provider.
So it's less about just picking the most famous name.
And more about finding the right partner, someone who understands your specific business, your customers, and can bring that expert strategy that's just, well, really hard to do yourself when you're also running the rest of the show.
Makes sense. But let's talk about mindset for a sec. If you're just starting out or the budget is super tight, that DIY instinct is strong. Save money at all costs. How do you shift that thinking?
It's about reframing cost versus investment. Look, early on, learning some basics via DIY. Sure, there's value there. Get your feet wet, understand the landscape a bit.
Right, some initial foundation.
But for real growth, sustainable ranking improvements that actually drive calls and customers. That's usually where professional help becomes not just helpful, but strategic.
So it's not about not spending money, but about spending it smartly for a return.
Precisely. Stop thinking of SEO help purely as an expense line item. Start seeing it as leverage, as an investment in getting more customers.
Okay.
I mean, think about it. What's the actual dollar value of showing up consistently on Google Maps when someone nearby needs your service right now?
Potentially huge.
Exactly. That visibility turns into leads. Leads turn into jobs. Jobs turn into revenue. By letting experts handle the SEO, you focus on your actual service. You often get a way better return on both your time and your money.
So pulling it all together then, that DIY route fueled by all the free info seems appealing.
Very appealing.
But it often leads to hitting that DIY ceiling, right? A big time drain, limited results.
Yep, frustration station.
But for those service pros, ready to scale, ready to really show up on Google Maps where customers are looking, and turn clicks into actual paying clients.
And exploring professional help isn't really an expense.
It's leverage, a strategic investment to get ahead.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Okay.
It's about focusing your resources effectively.
Okay, well that wraps up our deep dive on DIY versus ROI in local SEO. Food for thought, definitely. And hey, next time, we're shifting gears a bit.
Oh yeah? What's up next?
We're looking at the 10 local service professions that are absolutely crushing it on Google Maps. And more importantly, we'll talk about how you might be able to borrow some of their successful strategies.
Ooh, that sounds really interesting. Seeing what actually works in the wild.
Definitely one to tune in for. So as always, thanks for joining us on the deep dive. If you feel like you're bumping against that DIY ceiling yourself,
Maybe it's time to look at some options.
exactly. Might be time to see what professional help could unlock for your business. Don't forget to follow us for more local SEO tips that actually work. New deep dives drop every week.
Catch you on the next one.
Thanks for diving in with us. Don't forget to follow SEO Deep Dive by Map Rank Hack for more local SEO tips that bring real results. See you next time.